internet was like, oh my God, he doesn't take out the trash. And you're like, wait, what did I do wrong?
Have you ever been to a movie with a pregnant person?
I don't think so.
They act like they know the people in the movie.
Harrison comes to me and he says, instead of doing this whole baby registry thing that you're doing, can we register for people to buy parts of a crypto? And I was like, no. Welcome back to another episode of Just Alex. Today, I'm here with Harrison, and I'm the most excited for this episode than any other episode ever. Do you know why?
Please explain.
Because typically we program these episodes, right? Like we think of a topic and then we build around that topic, and it's all very strategic, and it's just the way Harrison likes it with all his strategy. But I don't necessarily love to live that way as much. I'm a little bit more of a shooter from the hip. How about that? So today we've convinced Harrison, what if we wrote down a bunch of topics that are relevant in our life, IRL, in real life, and then we went and we just talked about them. And lo and behold, the man said, okay, let's try it. This is my favorite kind of podcasting. Speaking of podcasting, for those of you that are listening to us doing the podcasting, hit us with a subscribe button and send it to a friend, just DM it to him or something. Here's the thing, I'm getting more pregnant by the day. And I run out of breath when I'm talking. But today was a really fun day because we blew up my pregnancy ball because you're such a handyman. Speaking of you being a handyman, how's that trash going? The internet's mad at you. People are irate. My cousin texted me, my friends are texting me, and they're like, listen, he's got to take out the trash.
I didn't know that that's where society sat on the matter. Like, I didn't know that was a thing. That
what?
Guys take out the trash and like that's a role of the house. And like maybe it's like a north versus south thing, but like growing up, that definitely wasn't the case. And like even in my last relationship, that wasn't the case.
Oh my gosh. Okay. In terms of traditional roles, it is at the top. It's like with mowing the lawn. It's like, wait, who do you think mows the lawn? You think we split that 50-50 too?
I've never mowed a lawn.
That doesn't surprise me. Okay.
It's normally included in the...
No, it's not included in anything. It's not, nowhere is it included. It's outsourced, sir. Okay, wait, hold on. So explain this to me. Because...
Well, I guess I cut you off, sorry.
No, it's just, I think what it is, because the internet was like, oh my God, he doesn't take out the trash. And you're like, wait, what did I do wrong?
Well, I think that, like, I don't believe in traditional values so much. Like, I think
values is not the word, I don't think.
Traditional roles?
Roles.
Okay.
Values are like your morals.
Yeah. I look at it, yeah, sorry. Like, I don't just, like, subscribe to traditional roles. I think I look at it more like there's like 100 contribution points to a household, and like in a healthy relationship, each partner contributes 50 contribution points to the house. And those are like, it can be, cooking, it can be cleaning, it can be taking out the trash, it can be, taking care of the kids, it can be, who pays for stuff. And like, I think as long as in your value systems you net out at around 50-50, that's great. Obviously very different when someone's pregnant and then the other person should, take on pretty much everything. But like when it comes specifically to the trash, of those 100 contribution points, like those are 5 that I'm just not getting. Like I just hate it.
I noticed though this morning you did take out the trash. I noticed the bag was gone. Was that because you knew we were filming this episode?
No, I hate it, but it isn't a fight. It's not a battle I'm going to pick when you're pregnant.
That's nice. I think...
But it's a contribution point that I will be pushing to give up when the child comes.
But it's because, but see, here's the thing. Once a child comes, you're going to be so amazed at the fact that I was able to birth that child that you're going to be like, okay, I'll keep taking out the trash for, because I'm going to be in repair mode.
Yeah, well, not immediately after, but then if
The day after.
if those contribution points you don't want to give up, then you'll have to make it up somewhere else.
What? Okay, well, hold on. So growing up in the North, who took out your trash, your mom or your dad? Did they split it 50-50?
Neither of them. It sticks out to me. I assume it was something split down the middle. The way that you shared the story about my mom bringing the groceries in from the car, I think it was the same. Like when the trash is full, whoever saw it would just take it out, and my role in that would just be to stick it down even.
You stick it
Even
down
further.
so far. I think the contribution points are like a fine thing for you to say, and but I think at the end of the day, you just don't like the trash duty. Like that's just a duty you don't like.
Totally, but I understand you need to make it up elsewhere.
Yeah.
Like, I think I do an outsized amount of cooking.
You do an outsized amount of stuff, but that's not even fair right now because I
Yes.
embed an outsized
We can
amount.
revisit this in 6 to 12 months.
But all this to say, the internet was wound up about you not taking out the trash. She doesn't like taking out the trash.
I hated it then. I still hate it now.
But I do think what maybe got lost in translation is it's not like I'm taking it out. What's happening is it's getting shoved down a lot. You are shoving this trash down to the point where, and then what happens is I'll pull out the bag and I'll tie it up and I'll set it down and then you take it out because I've given you the symbol.
That's some teamwork.
It's gone too far, Harrison. Pull the trash out.
I think there's things that will make you look bad ahead of time, and then there's things that you learn after the fact when they come out of your mouth, and the trash thing was an internet learning moment for me. I didn't know that was a thing.
Well, yeah, I was going to say it wasn't a learning that it would make you look bad. It was a learning that you had no idea existed, which is funnier.
Both.
You weren't trying to not hold the door open for me. You
I
supposed
know to hold the door open, and I hold the door open.
Totally.
Thought trash was a full-fledged negotiable.
Not negotiable.
Yeah.
That's what you chalk it up to. You thought that because we've talked about blue rolls and pink rolls, right? Which are the gender specific roles. I'm supposed to do the dishes, right? Which we kind of do 50-50.
But that was my point. Is I just don't really subscribe to blue and pink roles. It is what.
Unless heavy lifting, you subscribe to that. There are things though.
Yeah, if it's physical like that, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you subscribe to them?
No, not really. I'm trying to think of one that I just prefer you to take out the trash, obviously.
Caretaking of the child.
We're gonna do that 50-50.
I can't wait. I can't wait to be really actively involved in the child's care.
Yeah. Exactly. I know. So but diaper changing, now that's going to be trash.
I will fight that.
Yeah. So will I.
fight that.
So will I.
Give me hugs and kisses.
Yeah. You'll
will
get
not
up though.
fight.
I think you're going to get up for feedings because I think you'll just miss her. You're going to want her in bed, not with you all day. I mean, you're just going to be obsessed with this little thing. Okay, so you brought me breakfast in bed today, and it was cottage cheese pancakes. You bring me the pancakes, and you're like, I think I've nailed the recipe. And I'm like, okay. So I try them, and then after I try them and I say they're good, you say there's cottage cheese in them. We're putting cottage cheese in everything.
This has been a miracle ingredient. Thank you, TikTok. And as much shit as I give you about your lack of abilities in the kitchen, you've got this cottage cheese thing on lock. That cottage cheese bread is unbelievable.
It's so good. Last night we had cottage cheese pizza. We now need a carton of cottage cheese every 2 days. So when we go to the store, we need to buy 4.
Yeah.
And that lasts us the week. And it's high protein. Oh my God, so good. It makes everything better.
Yeah.
We're just on a really good cottage cheese kick.
How do you make the cottage cheese bread?
Literally cottage cheese, 2 eggs, salt and pepper if you want it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And it tastes like
Cheesy bread.
very light cheesy bread.
Very light cheesy bread from Papa John's. Oh man, and you just sit there and eat it. You just peel it and eat it, and it's just like protein.
Do you know what this dynamic kind of reminds me of?
What?
So when we were in college, when we were in freshman year, we call it first year in Canada, we would would have what we would call chills, where like just all the dudes would go in these really small rooms, and we would just like hang out and smoke a bunch of weed.
Okay.
And one day, our buddy, and we're probably going to need to blank that out because I think he'll be very mad at me if I share his name. He went and he made nachos, and he brought the nachos back, and he layered the nachos. And layering nachos is like a very standard thing you do. But what the collective group decided to run with was praising for how like unique and amazing his nacho making skills were. So that way we gaslit him into making nachos every night. I was like, how do you make them so good? And he described the layering. I was like, yeah, like we're just so high. Like we don't want to leave this room. I don't know if we ever told him this. So this also could be news, but like this dude must have made nachos over 100 times in our freshman year.
Because he thought he was so good at it.
And I feel like that's kind of the angle I need to go with on this cottage cheese bread. It's like, it's so simple. I could probably do it better with some seasoning, but like it takes 40 minutes to make. It takes a long time.
But I love it. Like I see what you did there. Undeniably, are you the better cook? Not close. And I thought when we moved into this house, because we never like really cooked LA, New York, because we were still in that like honeymoon phase. We went out to eat every time. Like we would try to stay in for a night. Like we would just plan a date night and go out. So I thought, you were self-proclaimed the better chef than I was. But I thought when we moved into this house, I was like, maybe I can beat him. So there was like 2 nights where I tried to make dinner and like, I'm just not even close.
But do you want to be?
No.
You just don't care?
No. I just think I wanted, yeah, no, I don't really care. I want to be able to do the basics, which I can do. But like you yesterday ripping up like a Chinese chopped salad. You made chicken tenders, ribs. Like you had a whole spread going on. I can't do that.
I find it relaxing. Like I actually, as I was doing it yesterday before we took the boat out, I just found it so calming. Like I love just the process of it.
Yeah, and you keep putting more in. I'm just a bland cook, and I have a bland palate. And no, you're very good at the chef situation. But yeah, leave the cottage cheese bread to me because it is so simple. But I do love once I put it in the oven, knowing I have 40 minutes, and I'll like pick a task. I'll do the task for 40 minutes, and the timer goes off. Oh, and I get so excited. It's the simplest thing to make on the planet. It's literally 2 ingredients, a third if you want it. But it's my Super Bowl every day. And you just leave me to it.
I'm a firm supporter of it.
Thank you. Let's talk about the boat.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think every city should have this. So what we realized in Austin was we thought Austin was a cool city. And then we went out one day and we drove around. Well, we went, one of our friends, Nikki, told us to go get us a burger at Ski Shores. And it is like 10 minutes away from our house. But a classic, like when growing up in Oklahoma, to drive to the lake was 3 hours. And then like the classic place on the water where you go get the burger, right, is not in my backyard. So we drive to this place and it's like you boat up to it, you sit on the water, like you have your burgers, everyone's in their swimsuits, and we're like, holy cow, like there's a lake culture in our backyard. We didn't really know about it.
So we had nothing like this growing up. Like, can you explain like the vibe of Ski Shores? Because it's so unique and cool.
Yeah, it's just like any Midwest lake.
Okay.
Any Midwest lake has this restaurant on it. It's got the burgers. It's got fun drinks. Like you boat up to it. You take the boat out. You say, we're going to go to I would say Ugly John's. Like you go, like everyone knows it.
So if you've been to a Midwest lake, you know the type of spot.
You totally know it.
That spot exists 10-minute boat ride from downtown Austin.
Yes.
Okay.
So we were like, oh my gosh, we have got to figure out how to get on this lake. Like we were like, do we get a lake house? Like what do we do? Then we realized here in Austin, like the slips on the lake, because it's in the city, there's a 7-year wait list. The slips are like 6 figures. We were like, oh my God, how are we going to get on? Like, we couldn't figure it out. And then somebody tells us there's a boat club. And we're like, that's genius.
Who told us there was a boat club?
Well, multiple people did. People kept referencing the boat club.
And this isn't something that we just kind of like tripped and stumbled on through Googling?
No. I heard it from like 3 or 4 people. There's a boat club. Yeah. Yeah. So then I Googled it.
We may have gone down separate paths on this.
Maybe. But nonetheless, they both led us to separate paths, same end result.
Yeah.
And so we joined this boat club. Basically, we were on a wait list for a month. And then we get the call and it's like, okay, you're in. There's pontoons and ski boats. You have to be like trained for them. It's unlimited. You pay the fee to get in and then you pay a monthly fee. And basically, like, the best part about the boat club is it takes out the maintenance problem and it takes out the cleaning up of the boat. Like, you have to get your trash off, but they like vacuum it. There's no putting the tarp on, the cover on, like none of that.
Down.
Yeah, they do all of that. But Harrison and I took it out yesterday for the second time, and we had a little anchor problem. So we dropped the anchor in the water, and everyone around us was having a hard time getting their anchors to stick. I don't know if you noticed that. Yeah. They were all like drifting a lot, but we were stuck the whole time.
Well, it's funny because I'm not a boat guy, and I feel like the process of owning a boat is like kind of a thing. You need to like be that bit of a personality type. And like earlier in the day, I was thinking, it's like, I got this boat thing down, and you're a boat girl. Like, you know what's going on out there. Like, you're very good at the parking and the in and the out, like navigating the lake. And like, I came back to reality so fucking fast when like we were 30 to 45 minutes in to trying to get an anchor release. Like, there's no better way to tell you don't belong somewhere than that experience.
Well, we looked cool. Everyone thought we knew what we were doing because the anchor was caught. So everyone around us, even this one guy was like, sorry, like, I just can't get my anchor. And I was like, you're good, man. Took us a second too. But like, and I knew, I was like, crap, like, we're really anchored in when everyone else is really not. And it started raining at one point, and we just could not get this anchor up. And I know the ways to get an anchor up. Like, I know you almost run over it and then kill the engine before, like, I know all the things. We can't get this anchor up. So what we didn't want to do on our second outing is call the boat club and be like, listen, we're going to have to cut the anchor. We also didn't have a knife, and so you don't want to lose the anchor rope because then somebody can run over it.
We should get a knife.
But then the tugboat guy drove by, and we were like, do you have a knife? And he was like, well, hold on. Like, and he sees I'm pregnant. Like, at first he was like kind of helpful, but when I stood up to go to the front of the boat, he was like, hold on. So he came over and he's like, give me your rope and like, let me see if I can get the anchor out. And we're like, okay, it's pouring rain at this point. So he takes our anchor rope, backs up, and just like floors it in the no wake zone, and he's holding on to the anchor, and he just just gets it up, and he pulls up like a whole tree root around it, and we felt so much better. And
in addition to it being, what's a demanning?
Yeah, like
demasculating.
Demasculating.
Because like the dude who did it he was like he was a boat guy.
Total boat guy.
He was a boat guy.
Yeah, he boats like we text.
We did. I mean, we couldn't even pull up to him to pick it up, but we're getting it. We did learn that like that. Another way to get it out is you hook it and you
can floor it.
You use the engine to pull it out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We survived.
We survived. We're having so much fun doing it. You're not actually giving yourself enough credit. You're a great boat driver. You don't know the little things of like, give the tuber space in case somebody falls off. Like, don't be right behind them. Like, little things like that. But I just learned that because I grew up going to the lake. You grew up in Vancouver where it was very like city, beach, mountain.
Yeah.
So I get my skis rocked whenever we go up there. I don't have a clue what's going on.
Yeah, but I'm very into lake culture. I think it's so cool, and the fact that we have it in the heart of the city is like, what a great activity.
No, you're so into lake culture. Harrison comes home, and I've been in bed a lot, obviously, okay? So he comes upstairs, and he's like, you got to see what I got us and the baby. I got the baby something. And I'm like, what'd you get the baby? So I like go downstairs and it is a Yeti cooler and a Yeti backpack. And he starts showing me how we needed to make this purchase, him and I both, for her. So when we take her on the boat, and I'm like, when you go on the boat, her bottles will fit into it. There's like a little snack clasp on, the ice to keep all of her things cold. And TikTok was like, this is his push present. Like, this is him justifying his Yeti purchases for the baby. And it was really cute. But they're your boat setup.
Were they not functional?
They were highly functional, but it's not for the kid. It's for you.
Where it is for the kid is like being able to carry all of our things in a very organized manner. Like, as you know, I love organization. Like, that just makes the experience a lot like more seamless and more fun. And so like with those two devices, like you just know that you can pack everything cleanly and organized. It'll stay the right temperature, and it doesn't take any hands because you can put one on your back, or it only takes one hand, and you can drag the other one.
We were carrying it. You were carrying it all. I can't carry any of it to the car. And he like packs it in there, and I'm like filming him laughing, and he looks at me. He's like, none of this would be possible without the right equipment. And he like has his Buc-ee's cup in his hand. And I was like,
Love Buc-ee's.
You had your ribs. Like, I was like, you're just kind of in your element. But I don't know that you knew it was going to be your element as much as it's developed into you. Like, you love this boat club. You love this packing of the food.
Element until something goes wrong, like you can't get an anchor up.
But even then, you were still fine.
Yeah, well, it's a marathon.
Yeah, you learned, and now we know. I mean, what are the odds our first anchor we drop gets stuck? That's crazy. I mean, the odds of that, like, we're probably safe for another year.
At least we got the knots right.
We tied.
Well, you got it, and then I followed you.
We tied our knots, like we're good. Yeah. Okay, so the other thing that we'll go into your wheelhouse a bit here, is, I'm just out of breath for a moment. We were on our first road trip because we went to Oklahoma and back like 2 weeks ago for my shower. So we're driving back, and Harrison gets this like notification on his phone that Ethereum had dropped. Yes. And you were so excited. You were calling all these people. And I would have never been looped in and or privy to this conversation except for your phone was sunk to the speaker in the car, the radio. So all these phone calls were on loud. And so I got to see crypto drop, and I got to see the new project you're working on.
Okay.
So crypto's like saying cell phone, and Ethereum's like saying iPhone, and Bitcoin's like saying Samsung. They are types of crypto. Yeah,
I don't think it's ever been explained like that, but directionally we can go with that.
It works because it's like crypto's the currency, and these are forms. And Ethereum was the one that dropped.
They both dropped.
Okay, they both dropped.
But Ethereum dropped more.
So you bought the little baby girl in the tummy.
Yeah, so has a wallet.
Okay.
So you have a digital wallet.
Yes.
And that's where you keep your cryptocurrencies, in the digital wallet.
Okay.
And so our child has a digital wallet.
Yeah.
And so we bought her some Ethereum when it dropped.
Okay, and so is the theory that it goes up and eventually?
Yeah, so
hope?
The hope is that it goes up, and the hope is that we start investing for her very young, and we give her exposure to diversified asset classes. So it's not like, we don't, when we think about her, her college fund and all that other stuff, we don't want it all to be in crypto, right? Mm-hmm. So the way I think about this is crypto is generally like about 10% of your portfolio. And then the other 90% we put in things like equities, indexes. So like buy the S&P 500.
I was going to say, is that the S&P 500?
Or fixed income instruments. So those are bonds that pay you
dividends. No.
Stocks pay you dividends.
Darn it.
Bonds pay you interest payments.
Oh.
Coupons.
The S&P 500, like, can we buy her, like, if she loves something, if she's so obsessed with a Disney movie on her 5th birthday, can we buy her, like, a little bit of Disney stock?
Yeah, so I think that gamifying this for her is a really fun idea.
And explaining it to her.
Exactly. And making it fun and not making it intimidating.
Yeah, I love that.
And, I think you've seen, like, while I do love Yeti coolers, I am against things, right?
Yeah, right.
And so for her birthday gifts, like, I don't want to buy her gifts. Like, I think I would love, I don't know if you'll sign off on it, but like every birthday to, buy her a stock or two.
I'm so down for that because you know what I don't want is toys everywhere. Like, we registered for one toy.
What toy?
It's the Love Everly.
Haley recommendation?
Yeah, it's like a subscription. And so we have that. We're not going to have like a lot of toys. Maybe I'll eat my words on this. I don't know. But as of right now, the plan is to not have like a ton of toys roaming around because I think it's sort of like could also symbolize like instant gratification, like new. So I really want to keep it simple on the toy front. But I love that idea of giving her something like a stock, which she won't understand. But just as exciting to a kid, we could give her a stock and we could wrap it in something cool and she gets to open it still. Like, that's also just as exciting.
Yeah, and as you said, like, if she likes the Disney movie, do you get a toy from the Disney movie and, print off a cool certificate?
Yeah, I remember my parents bought me Disney.
That like reflects the actual share holding.
Right, and then eventually she'll understand what's happening and she'll be so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In time.
Okay, so she bought Ethereum in her wallet.
So she has Ethereum in her wallet. That's all she has.
Okay.
She doesn't have any Bitcoin yet.
So we'll work on that because what you wanted to register for, Harrison comes to me and he says, instead of doing this whole baby registry thing that you're doing, can we register for people to buy parts of a crypto? And I was like, no, but it's a really cool idea. And it's a really cool idea. But no, we have to register for like the chair that rocks and the Nanit sound thing and all those. But I thought that was an interesting way of thinking.
What's the favorite registration thing that she's gotten so far? Favorite baby gift so far?
Oh, that's really hard to pick. Well, okay, like everything we registered for is necessary. Necessary is not the right word, sorry, because they used to have babies 100 years ago. None of the stuff existed. Everything she registered for, though, had like a reason. Like, I really read a bunch of registries and like why you register for this, because I don't want a bunch of like stuff around the house. But the most exciting, cute one we got is that playmat. It's from Jennifer Welch, my old boss. That like it's like looks like a painted playmat on the floor for tummy time. That's like exciting to get, but everything else is like has a reason, practical, like the Kiwi glider. You need that.
Yeah, that's my favorite one.
The Kiwi glider.
Yeah, the chair that Sydney and
the hostess got.
Libby and everyone got us.
Yeah.
Hames.
Not Hames, but thanks, Hames.
Just give her the love.
Give her the love. Give her the love anyways. Yeah, so it's all, getting any type of baby gift makes me want to cry. Just doesn't matter what it is. I just immediately want to start crying. Okay, we need to do an episode on, there was a lot of questions when I put up the question box for episodes on like starting a company, what's going on with your company, how you've helped with my company, like all those different things. So I do think we should reserve that for like a full episode.
Yeah. What I wonder though is like, and I think it'll be interesting to see the format that your show ultimately follows. Is like, is that type of stuff going to come up more just like consistently in like an ad hoc way, or is it going to be programmed like previous episodes have been?
Yeah, we're going to have the listeners let us know though if they like this kind of like riffing, like we're just going on a topic list right now, right? Or if they like the programmed out type episode. Yeah. So
is there anything on the just end that you think we should be talking about on this episode?
Things are rolling, but one thing, and we actually, so Brittany Schmidt, who's on This Is the Worst podcast, she has her special came out, and we went to it in person, And it is like okay, so I don't go to a lot of comedy. I absolutely loved it. But you like study comedy, like love comedians, and you, whenever it dropped, you're like, send me the link. Like you loved it.
Yeah, she's very good. Her content is, it's incredibly unique, and like she really is creating her own path. And I think, like, most importantly, like, it's fucking funny and it's true to her. And I think that she's someone that is going to be making comedy for a very, very long time.
I truly agree with that. She's dynamic because she gets like her comedic timing. I love, right? Because her joke, like the layers to her jokes, but she's so smart that she tugs at like what everyone's thinking, also adds this layer of thought-provoking. Like she makes you think with her comedy.
Yeah, and it's true to her. Like I think a lot of people go out there and like they tell jokes that aren't that lack a significant relevance to them in their lives, and there's not a lot of originality to it. And I think when you look at the greats of comedy, that's something they do so well, and I think that she does that very well. And it's called Horny, and I'm proud of her, and hopefully everyone else watches it and enjoys it as much as I have, and it sounds like you have.
Yeah, and it was really cool too because in the comments it was like all the worsties, which is like the name of the people that watch her podcast. They're like, worsties here, worsties check in. So it was cool to see them cheering her on. But yeah, very, very proud of Britt. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the list because there's a couple of things I want to touch on. But one is that we went and saw Twister on Friday night. And we made a big mistake. We got 2 small popcorns, which are like, the popcorn bags are massive. We both ate them all, and it like hit us in the middle of the movie. Like, some people say, oh, I ate the whole popcorn bag, and they only ate half. We ate the whole popcorn bag, and we both had like awful stomach aches. But the guy beside us, we had the lay down seats. He was snoring in the movie. And his wife, girlfriend, somebody was with him. And I was like looking over, like, are you going to wake him up? She didn't wake him up.
The wife also had her shoes off. No socks.
No socks.
I don't know what's worse.
The snoring, because it's disrupting the movie.
When I saw those feet, I'm not a feet person. I think feet are gross.
Yeah.
I like almost... Yeah, I was concerned with you seeing the feet and you not being able to eat your popcorn. And
oh my gosh, I'm glad I didn't see them.
Yeah, they were horrible.
Oh my gosh. No, but I think the snoring, like you gotta wake up somebody if they're snoring in a movie. Like you pulled your phone out for 1 second. And what did I say?
Yeah, I couldn't believe how mad you got at me.
Oh, I was just like, no, because you can't ruin the experience for other people. You can't text during a movie.
So I agree with you, but like there was no one on my right side. And they were big seats with lots of coverage, and like I did a little check.
No, because even if somebody's side eye catches it, like I think phones got to stay up during movies.
I didn't fight it.
No, you didn't. You just put it up.
Yeah.
I was glad you did. You didn't pull it back out. I just think like less about you and I, more about like, is there somebody that can see that we're running it for? Because it's distracting. And the snoring was just like, woof. But I was sobbing.
Yeah.
I've never seen you smoke a cigarette. Do you smoke?
No, this is like an ode to something else that we've done, which is like, we'll talk about it at a later date, but oh my God.
It's a great hat. Great hat.
That's really funny.
I need you to stop ordering clothes and getting like shipments of clothes in because I'm on a shopping freeze. Obviously, because like I have a basketball in my stomach. And you're like getting in all these like cute clothes because we have New York and LA wardrobes. We don't really have Austin wardrobes. You're building your Austin wardrobe. I'm not at the moment. And so I'm like a little bit jealous of you.
But I derailed us.
Yeah, I was crying during the movie.
Oh, have you ever been to a movie? I know you're pregnant, but have you ever been to a movie with a pregnant person?
I don't think so.
I would describe it as going to a movie with a pregnant person. They act like they know the people in the movie. And so your emotion, like when someone died in the movie, like the way it would hit you, but the same way, like when a good thing would happen, the way you would celebrate in the moment, like the emotion of tears of happiness and sadness was like nothing I've ever seen before. Also, like a great movie for what it is.
Twister's a phenomenal movie because it's lighthearted, but people did die and it was really sad. But I had to take a pulse check from other people of like, did you cry in Twister? Because I was like hysterical. Like I felt for the character that lost people, but she's just a character.
Yeah. I hope movies come back. I hope I would love if we could go to a movie once a month in the theaters. Like the theaters just have not been putting out good stuff. And I think Twister was it.
I agree with that. But I think the problem was theaters started putting out the same things that came on at home. So people were opting to watch them at home.
Is that what was happening?
I thought that was happening for a bit. But like right now, I want to see the Blake Lively movie.
Yeah, some serious drama going on with that.
Yeah, there is. I don't know what to make of it. And but I wanted to see Twister, and then there's another one I want to see. I can't remember what it is. But yeah, I think hopefully the theaters are back. And we're approaching, what everyone's doing is they're kind of canceling summer right now. Have you been seeing this? Everyone's like, it's fall, but it's not. Like it's August. We're in the beginning of August still. And like I think because kids are going back to school, but they're making it this whole like, now we're on to fall movement. And it's like, in fall we can go to the movie theaters, but it's still summer. Like you're working on your summer wardrobe.
Well, I think our summer wardrobes, but calling this fall right now is ridiculous. This is peak summer. But I think our summer wardrobes will probably in Austin extend to like September, October.
I agree with that. I actually wanted to tackle the cigarettes a little bit more. Are you like a party smoker?
I don't remember my last cigarette.
Okay.
Which would make me think it was over 6 months ago. I probably haven't had a cigarette since we met.
Okay.
But there is a time and a place for a cigarette. Like I'm very surprised I didn't smoke when we were in Mallorca.
Oh yeah.
Like those kind of 2-3 a.m. nights by the pool with Niter.
Yeah, totally.
We were just, drinking and talking life.
Yeah.
Very good time for a cigarette.
Okay.
My mom would have loved it.
Aww.
But yeah, my mom used to be a big smoker and she loves to sneak them. But she stopped.
I love that.
Like I'm anti-smoking.
No, I get it.
But drinking is horrible for you, and there's a time and I'd like to drink.
Yeah, it's okay. You don't have to make the cake. We got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all.
Time. But there are certain people that I also like have when we're out together, we smoke more.
Yeah, you like your cigarette people.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I just didn't know because it's funny, like when we were dating, we have 2 phases to our relationship. We have like our dating phase, and then we had the pregnancy phase, which like I don't go out with you. If you're out till 1 a.m., I'm not with you right now.
Yeah, but if I came home smelling like cigarettes,
oh my god,
know,
I would be throwing up.
Have.
Well, that would be mean to do to me right now. I would be like, because any smell just sends me over the edge. The thought of smelling sends me over the edge.
One crazy thing, like my first, do you want a story about cigarettes?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you did something, so that was in high school.
Yeah.
And then in college you did something. You ran a party.
We threw events in college. We should save that for another time.
Okay.
That was a fun time.
But you ended up like making a lot of money in college.
Story for another time.
Okay, because your mom like said it at one point, and I was like, wait, what? I knew you like did that, but I didn't know you like did that.
It was a good couple of years.
It was a good business. That's like the number. I was like, what?
Yeah, it was really fun.
Good for you.
It was the most fun thing to do during college.
So funny that
we don't have frats.
Right. Yeah. You guys don't have fraternities, and we went and did the OU, University of Oklahoma, fraternity and sorority row. Like we went and drove it, and I think you like really enjoyed seeing that. Because the houses there are big. They're the traditional.
It was out of a movie.
Yeah, they are out of a movie, right?
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
But you guys didn't have that.
That life is just so foreign.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's funny. Okay, let's wrap her on up. I'll do that. I'll do the wrapping.
Anything else you want to talk about before we wrap?
I don't think so. Oh, speaking of colleges, actually, there is a question. Any pick, like, no, you don't have to give me context here. What college would you want our little baby girl to go to? You can think of it from any angle.
Yeah, I want her to go with the environment that she will thrive in. You know, all things equal, I would love her to go to Stanford. That's where I wish I went, and I wish I went down that route. But it just wasn't on my radar.
I thought McGill was like a Ivy of Canada.
McGill's a fun school. It's a great school, but to our college system, it's a very different track than the U.S. system. Like, we don't write SATs,
Right.
and so I didn't do the whole SAT thing.
Okay.
And I also, like, in the early stages of school, really, really struggled. Like, I only found my bearings in school later.
But grade what?
Well, the whole deal was our schools only looked at your grades from 11 and 12. And so my view on that was like, well, if you don't care about what I grade in 8, 9, and 10, then I'm going to spend time, having fun, playing sports, causing havoc. And so I pulled my socks up in 11 and 12, which obviously you can't do if you want to go the U.S. system. But I didn't write the SATs.
Got it. Me either. But
And like they didn't really care about extracurriculars. All they cared about was how you scored.
okay.
So
at that point, you couldn't have gone to a Stanford because they would have looked at your 4 years. But whereas a good like a
I couldn't have gone for a bunch of reasons. Like, we looked at our 4 years. I didn't do the SAT.
yeah, that's right.
My
Okay.
extracurriculars. What about you? Where do you want our child to go to school?
You didn't really. So Stanford's your answer?
Well, my answer is like, I want her to go in the environment that she would thrive, but like, assuming that she comes out and is.
You've said this before. You don't care if she also doesn't go to college at all. Like, that's just not for some people.
Yeah. Like, I guess I'd ask that. I think that Stanford presents the best post-second. I think Stanford presents the best post-secondary opportunities. And so, like, and while also giving you a great education. Like, there's sports, there's
Experience, a great experience.
great experience, exactly.
The college
But like
experience.
the alumni network is insane.
Yeah, I mean, it does set you up for just like a different trajectory of life. I don't know, like, well, I always think about this is a bad way to think about it, and I'm going to change my thinking. But I think about where your kid goes to school, like what's fun to go on parent weekends, right? So that's where I'm kind of like roll tide. Like, I think like a southern school like that would be really fun. But I also think like a Notre Dame, like you and I talked about, would be really cool because it's kind of the best of all the worlds, like really big into football and sports, but also like good academically. But NYU's cool, like it's in the middle of New York City. I don't know, like a surf school's cool. Anywhere.
I think when I look at this question and I look at like my 10 most successful friends, they all are from very different backgrounds and all went to very different types of schools, including no school at all. And so like, I don't actually over-index on this. I don't know much about like that. I've had friends that went to Alabama and friends that went to UT, but like that was after the fact. I didn't really visit those schools. But like I think there's a lot of paths to go down here, and whatever's best for her.
No, I think I 100% think if college is for you, like I really think there's a lot of people it's not for. I think a gap year is good too because you mature an extra year and then maybe you take school more seriously. Like I think I'm so down if this girl doesn't want to go to college. I think there's so many different paths to, and I don't really think it matters. I think it is what you make it.
I actually think I'm against a gap year.
Really? Why? A gap year would have done me a lot of good. Because you don't think they end up going?
I think that I would encourage that a little later. Like go for year one, take it after year one. Like, get in the mix. But I don't know. I'm thinking of the personal experiences of people that took gap years that I know.
So I don't know anyone that took a gap year. I just think the idea of like your brain like maturing one more year after, like, I think if my sophomore year Alex would have gotten there freshman year, then I would have had like a lot more wherewithal to like try harder freshman year. That's where I got the gap year from. I don't know anyone that actually took a gap year and then ended up going.
We'll see.
Because you kind of go with your grade, right? Like the people you graduated high school with, that's who you go be a freshman with. So that would confuse me to then be delayed but have graduated high school with them. Does that make sense?
I mean, you were the pro gap year person.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I was, but I don't actually know anybody that did it. Maybe I do. Text me if I do. Okay, all right, let's wrap it up. Go to any college you want, child in my stomach, or don't go to one at all. But make a good case for it if you don't want to go. That's it. Right?
Yeah.
All right, so Harrison and I are just waiting on this little baby. We're going to paint the nursery this week. My best friend Sydney's coming into town to help us with the nursery. Harrison got us tickets to Joe Rogan's comedy place, The Mothership. And you're going on a vacation. Not a vacation. You're going on a work trip to Minnesota, and then you're going out to LA where the office is.
And then, yeah, Vancouver as well.
In Vancouver as well. I forgot about Vancouver. That'll be fun. Go get that travel out while you can. Maybe my water break while you're gone. How about that? That'd be crazy. If she came early.
Well, luckily everywhere I'm going is a direct flight back.
Yeah, no, it'd just be like a little bit of adversity. All right, we love you guys, and we will see you next week.
Thank you for listening.
Okay, guys, thanks for listening to another episode of Just Alex, powered by Just Media House. If you enjoyed the show, which I think you did because you made it this far, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, rate, and review. All of those things are so important. Stay connected on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook at Just Alex Pod. Post-production by Creative Evolution Studios. Theme song to the Just Alex Pod by Gideon Shawkin and Denisha. I'm Just Alex, you're just you. Let's keep doing this thing. New episodes every Thursday.